half after they took the lead, you went with a smaller lineup and then Devin got high. Is there any correlation with that, or was that just him kind of getting into his zone at that point?
Well, no, Dev's run, was the difference in the game. Mm-hmm. We had worked really hard to get a lead. This is a very experienced, incredibly well-coached team. You knew they were going to make a run. You just didn't want it to be that quickly. I mean, they erased our lead within the first couple minutes of the second half. We were sideways. Looked like we had a layup. Mike turned it over. They get a dunk. So you give them credit because they kept scoring. So Dev put us on his back for that stretch. And I think what he did was settle everybody else down on our team. I went small because we were zone. If we were staying man, Sherman was really hurting us, obviously. I mean, we decided to not double. We're going with tough twos rather than threes. We felt like, if we could keep them under 10 threes, we'd win the game. And it didn't look like a great theory for a while there, but I was just afraid to double down. And he's a really good passer, and they've got 4 shooters now when they go small. And they're a hard team to guard because they got 4 shooters and they got 4 drivers, and they got a low post guy who can score. And they do not turn the ball over. They just don't. They had 7 turnovers. So they're going to get a crack. So you can't give them too many second shots. We gave them a few, obviously, but I'm just really proud of our guys and how they maintain their composure.
Fran, how much did the crowd help you guys today?
Tremendously, because I normally sub more in the second half, and I left that lineup in there for quite some time, and I think the energy level was really helpful.
Did you think that the level of play was same as you had in Nassau?
Yeah, I mean, down there we had, we played 3 high-level games, and we come back and we play, what has been one of the best basketball teams in the country in the last 14 years. That's what Mike has done. It's very difficult to do what he's done from a consistency standpoint, and you're playing a team that has an air about them that they expect to win. They play with a confidence. They don't beat themselves. I mean, I said from day one, if we're going to win this game, we're going to have to beat them. They're not going to come in here and turn the ball over. They're not going to make a ton of mistakes. They're going to share the ball. They're going to make open shots, and they're going to play hard. And we had to score 98 to get them.
Coach, Mike said neither team could guard each other, but it wasn't as much not playing defense as it was just teams clicking offensively. It was a little both.
I think a little both. I mean, I don't think either of us played great defense, but I think both teams were really trying. I think both teams were really competing defensively. Both teams are mixing man and zone, and both teams have drivers and and shooters. They make 8, we make 7. We tend to drive a lot, and we got to the free throw line quite a bit. But it's just really talented players going at it, and sometimes it's hard to stop people.
In 3 out of your last 4 games, Devin has really carried you for a key stretch in the second half. I mean, is he showing maturity that he can elevate your team when they need him the most?
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. And I think that's what we all expected from him. He's done it before. He had one stretch in his career in his junior year where he struggled, but if you look at his collective body of work, he's always been able to do that.
Fran, they had 5 guys play at least 30 minutes. You had 10 guys play tonight. How much, in a game like this where they're pushing you and pushing you and pushing you, how much does that depth really show?
Well, I mean, I think it had great impact, but it didn't seem to me that it affected them. I think like we all thought it would. Okay, those guys were still pushing it. They were still driving it. I mean, they seemed to have the energy. I think they're used to playing like those kinds of minutes. And especially the big 3.
How hard is it to beat a team that shoots 51% from the floor?
Extremely hard. I mean, unless you're shooting 57, you're not winning.
Olashaney was really good in the first half.
I should have got him back in there. What are you trying to say, Scott?
I'm just asking why he didn't get back in there.
That was a mistake on my part. He deserved to go back in. I feel bad about that, actually.
Coach, when you look at Jared's play down the stretch, he hit the big 3 right in front of the bench, and just seemed to have some timely plays down the stretch. You think that's really going to help him?
Oh, question. I mean, he's been terrific. I mean, he really has been. I mean, there's been a couple of stretches where I felt like he was a little tentative, But we just keep encouraging, keep shooting, keep attacking, keep playing your game. I thought he was great.
In the second half, you seemed to do a lot of everything against their zone. You ran cutters through, you dribble drive, you screened it a little bit. Was tonight a good blueprint? You can bust a
Well, I
zone
think Mike was doing a
way.
real good job of changing defenses in the second half, trying to keep us guessing, especially after timeouts. You know, they're going to be man, they're going to be in zone, so now I got to call 2 plays and things like that. I thought, you know, when you get into a game like that, you almost have to say, okay, whether they're man, because he was playing 3-2, 2-3, and man, and they were switching out of their man. It's almost like treat it all the same. Just go make plays. If there's space there, drive it. The guys, you know, keep looking at the rim, both as a shooter and to find somebody underneath. I mean, Mike made a great feed underneath one time for a bucket where it didn't look like anything was going to open up, and there it was. You just got to go make plays, and I think that's what Mike was trying to do: force us to make plays, to see if he could force us into more mistakes. Now, we made more mistakes than they did. We had 12 turns, they had 7. But, you know, we were not a mistake team tonight for the most part.
Coach,
Yeah.
how big was it for you guys to get a win, especially after all the traveling that you've done, and you had 2 overtime?
Well, I
games
think it says a lot about our team. I mean, you know, we had that's without a doubt the worst travel day I've ever been involved with in 31 years. I mean, I've never been through anything like that. And quite honestly, I was the only one complaining. Not one player complained. It's like, okay, coach, what do we got? You know, are we going to practice right now? And we were supposed to be in at 5 a.m., we were in at 5 p.m. I mean, that's a long trip now, okay, after an overtime game. So nobody complained. I said, okay, coach, what time's practice? Let's go. Let's lock into the scouting report. And, you know, I think it says a lot about our character.
Coach, did this game have any extra special meaning to you given your past history at Notre Dame?
You know, maybe a little bit. I mean, I spent 11 of you know, incredible years at the University of Notre Dame. I was thrilled to have the opportunity to go work there. Met my wife there. Had great experiences, learned a lot. You know, worked for 2 coaches who I really appreciate, and coached the game dramatically differently, and learned a lot. And you know, a lot of the success that I had since then as a result of the experience I got there. You know, lived there for 11 years, and you know, but you know, when you play the game, it's you know, the next game, and so we're thrilled to win it. I think probably I'm excited to win it more for, you know, the impact it will have for our resume. And this is a team that is going to be in the NCAA tournament, you know, and we want to be in. We want to get in. Well, you better play some teams, and you better beat some teams that are going to be in.
Free throw shooting was good.
Pardon me?
Free throw shooting.
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I mean, we got good free throw shooters, and we had our best free throw shooters on the floor late when they were in the double bonus and they were fouled.
One more question.
Coach, Drake's off to a pretty good start. You expect a
Pretty
pretty
good.
big challenge at the Wells Fargo Arena?
Tremendous. They've been one of the most impressive teams, in my view. They go on the road to win their first game, okay? But, you know, to go to California and win 3 in 3 days, it's pretty impressive. 6-1 start. Ray's got them going. Yeah. I'm really impressed with them. Thank you.